The end is near, but what kind of end will it be? I'm Ashley with WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 ways Game of Thrones could end. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be examining possible roads this HBO epic could take on its final stretch. This isn't just a list of who we think will end up on the Iron Throne, but also events that could come to pass along the way to victory or defeat. Number 10, Tyrion Lannister wins.
You enjoy the game.
I do. Last thing I expected.
And you play it well.
I'd like to keep playing it.
While he seems way too smart to actually want the Iron Throne, it could still happen. Fans have theorized that Tyrion isn't a Lannister at all, but a Targaryen. Tyrion's father Tywin was Hand of the King to the King Aerys II, who in the books lusted after Tywin's wife Joanna. Tywin even quips that Tyrion bears the Lannister name because Tywin cannot prove that he isn't a Lannister. Tyrion has already shown that he can touch a dragon without getting his hand bitten off. Could he also ride one?
When my father told me the last dragon had died a century ago, I cried myself to sleep that night. But here you are.
And could his bloodline give him the throne? He'd certainly be the smartest king Westeros has seen in a long time.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Number 9, the Iron Throne and monarchy rule is thrown out.
Who threw that? I want the man who threw that. Find who did that and bring him to me.
As the noble houses play their Game of Thrones, we hear very little from the people they're supposed to be lording over, the small folk. After years of neglectful rulers, petty squabbles between houses, and civil wars, it's about time the small folk say enough is enough. We've already seen this unrest gradually spreading through King's Landing. Those who survive the Night King's invasion might just decide that they've had it with the kings and queens altogether. Hell, maybe some of the noble houses will even support the motion after all the bloodshed of the War of the Five Kings.
We have no names, no family. Every one of us is poor and powerless. And yet together, we can overthrow an empire.
Number 8, Miracle Baby Targaryen wins. It's been made clear that Daenerys can't have children after what happened with Mirima's Duh at the end of Season 1.
My child was innocent.
Innocent? He would have been the stallion who mounts the world. Now he will burn no cities. Now his Khalasar will trample no nations into dust.
However, by the end of Season 7, there was a lot of chatter about children and lineage, leading some fans to believe that maybe with Jon, Daenerys might get a sort of miracle baby. And yes, we know, they're related, ew, but it wouldn't be the first child in the show born of family relations.
His name is Aegon Targaryen. You have to protect him. Promise me, Ned.
Depending on how things end up, it could take at least a generation for Westeros to get back on its feet. And maybe this little wolf dragon will be destined to carry on the torch. Number 7, Sansa is Queen in the North. Sansa finally made it back home, wiser and stronger than before. We think that she'll continue to support Jon when he learns that he's the rightful heir to the Iron Throne.
You have to be smarter than father. You need to be smarter than Robb. I loved them, I missed them, but they made stupid mistakes and they both lost their heads for it.
And how should I be smarter? By listening to you.
Would that be so terrible?
After all the hell she went through though, we can understand why she might never want to head south again to King's Landing. And after all, a Stark must always be in Winterfell. Surely she'll become Warden in the North, but if Westeros is broken up again during the upcoming conflicts, maybe she'll just go ahead and declare her sovereignty.
And the snows fall and the white winds blow. The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.
Number 6, Daenerys Goes Mad.
Your Grace, if you stop beheading entire
I'm not
families...
beheading anyone.
Your Grace.
For the Targaryens, madness runs in the family. In the books, it's said that when a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin, with insanity on one side and greatness on the other. Given her quick rise to power, Daenerys' greatness is arguably a given, but her approach to politics often wavers between diplomacy and tyranny. She tends to be kind to small folk and those who are loyal, but she can deal brutally with those who challenge her.
Dracarys.
Could losing one of her dragons flip the coin the other side up? How will she react when she learns that Cersei is plotting against her? Will she, like her father, decide to burn them all? Only time will tell.
Dracarys.
Number 5, Cersei Wins. Speaking of mad queens, the show has been bleak, and heroes aren't always victors. In this outcome, Cersei becomes the new ruler of Westeros, after Jon and Daenerys have defeated the Night King. Then again, given her pragmatic and manipulative nature, maybe she'll ally with the Night King and become the Night Queen. The survivors of the war would have to leave Westeros across the Narrow Sea, or risk becoming whites. Just as the Doom saw Valyria consumed by fire, maybe the Doom of Westeros will see it covered in ice.
Let the monsters kill each other. And while they battle in the north, we take back the lands that belong to us.
And then what?
And then we rule.
Number 4, it was all Bran.
He saw me! The Night King! He saw me!
Brandon is a common name in the Stark family. In fact, when Bran was young, old Nan used to forget which Bran she was talking to. Inspired by this fact, the All Bran theory states that all the Brandons throughout history are in fact the same person, time-traveling Bran Stark. A similar theory speculates that Bran might actually be the Night King, having traveled back in time and walked into the man whom the Children of the Forest made into the first White Walker. It's a wild theory, but it would be a hell of a twist.
When the long night comes again, I need to be ready.
Number 3, the Night King wins. It's the bleakest ending possible, but is it totally out of the question? This is Game of Thrones after all. With a huge ice zombie horde at his back and the ability to create more whites in coming battles, the Night King might reach King's Landing with an army too big to stop. Plus, he also has an ice dragon. It would be thematically in line with the larger idea that Game of Thrones has had in play all along, that titles, land, and wealth mean nothing in the face of tragedy. In this theory, any survivors would have to leave Westeros. It would be unsatisfying for sure, but it leaves lots of room for spin-offs. Number 2, Jaime kills Cersei, and vice versa. Many characters point to Jaime Lannister's Kingslayer moniker as a mark of dishonor. But when you consider the fact that he killed the Mad King to save thousands of innocents from a fiery death, it puts the deed into a whole new light. As the years have progressed, the Lannister twins have drifted to opposite ends of the morality spectrum. It seems very possible that Jaime will kill Cersei for much of the same reason he killed the Mad King, making him not only a Kingslayer, but also a Kinslayer and a Queenslayer. Knowing Cersei, she wouldn't go down without a fight. In a poetic twist then, just as Jaime and Cersei were born together, so too could they die together.
Our children are gone, our father is gone. It's just me and you now.
There's one more yet to come.
Before we unveil our top pick, here's a few honourable mentions.
When people ask you what happened here, tell them the North remembers.
Number 1, Jon or Daenerys dies.
Your Grace, everyone you know will die before winter's over if we don't defeat the enemy to the north.
As far as I can see, you are the enemy to the north.
I'm not your enemy.
Both Jon and Daenerys would die for their cause, and there's no shortage of characters willing to help them do so. They'll need steady hands and hearts to make it through. But what if learning of Jon's true parentage sends the Lovebeards off the deep end? Or the family madness causes Dany to make a fatal mistake at a crucial moment? Then again, even without those distractions, Jon may well do something heroic but fatal on the battlefield, especially with the lives of family or his new love at risk. With either death, we can pretty much guarantee one last knowing look between them as part of a bittersweet ending that leaves the other poised to sit on the Iron Throne.
He loved her. And she loved him.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and subscribe for more great content.